Back to my channel. Copper Dragon's here, and I'm going to be playing some more Deltarune. And if you missed my last episode, on the game, I entered the Dark World, and I entered the Maze of Death. So yeah, that's about all I really did for the first part, anyways. And mind you, I'm planning on starting from, I'm planning on doing all the chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, that's why I'm in chapter 1 right now. Is because I'm doing all those chapters. Just in case if there's somehow someone that missed what happened in those chapters. It's just a precautionary type of thing, because, well, no one, there's still a chance that nobody really saw or played the first 2 chapters. There's still a chance of that. You know? It's unlikely considering the popularity of the game, but there is still a chance. If you catch my drift, there's still a chance regardless. Regardless of the popularity of the game. And yeah, I'm just gonna, that's all I'm really gonna do. There's still chapter 3 and 4 released recently. And I'm gonna get to those whenever I beat the first 2 chapters. Oh man, I want to give Lancer some money. I want to give him some money. You know, to be nice. To poor Clover Boy. You know? You know what, I'm just gonna hold down triangle to skip past this. Because I didn't really care about the dialogue in the first game in Undertale. I didn't really care about that. And I'm glad that they added an option to skip past the dialogue. Too bad I can't skip past this. And that's the part I really dislike about this. And also they added a run button too by holding down circle on PlayStation. Okay, that one was more or less luck. Yeah, this one's really easy because it dies in 1 hit. And the thing is, as far as I can tell, you don't gain any experience in this game. But you do gain levels by playing through each of the chapters. Okay, the Amber card is obviously going to be better on either Susie or Chris. Ralsei, or however you pronounce her name, she gets worse whenever you put the Amber card on her. So, I'm not gonna put it on Ralsei. Yeah, I'm skipping past the dialogue because I want to get to chapter 3 and 4 as quickly as possible. You can just look up the story if you want. But I'm not gonna show it off here. I'm just gonna be focusing on the gameplay. Because I really don't want to deal with going through all that dialogue and stuff. I just don't really want to, you know, if it gives me the option to press one button to skip past really lengthy dialogue, I'm gonna take it. Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, dang it, I wanted... If you couldn't tell, Susie's idea was wanting to jump the fence. That was her idea anyways. But that would have been stupid considering Well, there's obviously spikes. So, yeah, very stupid idea for obvious reasons. Wait, it seems like there's an answer to that puzzle. I know what that puzzle is, because you gotta put in, like, either a heart, club, clover, or diamond into each of those slots, and it automatically loads up whenever you get the answer right. So, yeah. That's basically how those puzzles work. Oh god, it's... Yeah, I'm likely gonna, you know... I'm gonna go... Darn it. Yeah, if you touch those white bars, yeah, you get sent back. So, yeah. And also, I'm probably gonna, be sent back a lot through this playthrough. Like, in this little segment. Pawn Man. That's a weird name. Yeah, this game really helped me out with dodging, for my Undertale playthrough. So, yeah, you can thank this game for it. Okay, that was a really lucky dodge there. Really? A bucket? That's what he's gonna use to fight us? A literal bucket? And also, there's a really fun, like, there's a really unique concept coming up in a little bit, that I really like in this game. It involves, Susie and Lancer, um, like, it involves them and some kind of robot. Darn it. I regret going up right there, and yes, I admit that was all my fault. So, no need to blame it, the controller or anything. Hey, at least I got some TP or whatever that scoring system is called. Whatever you want. Like, I'm not gonna call it TP because, you know, for obvious reasons. Yeah, if Susie's the one that gets targeted, I don't really care considering she has the most HP out of the 3 party members right now. And there's usually save files, like, really close to each other. So, honestly, I don't really care if she takes all that much damage. And also, you regen whenever a character gets knocked out, there's a regen factor, and if they get out of the negatives, they actually, you know, get back into the battle. Huh. Yeah, you're gonna have to bow for this boss, considering, that's what you're supposed to do to defeat it. Considering, I'm pretty sure there's a healing thing that it does. Like, after it takes so much damage. I don't know how much damage it needs to take. Wait, I forgot. I don't know how much damage it needs to take, for it to start healing. Yeah, that's the healing animation right there. But yeah, after it takes so much damage, it automatically heals itself, which is something that a trio of bosses does in Chapter 2 too. So, yeah, but it's for like a different, like the way you gotta beat them is like a different function or something. Like it's not bowing, but it's like dancing or something. I forget the exact function that it does, but like that's what I remember you have to do. Or I know it has something to do with the act feature, and instead of fighting, because like yes, they heal too. Weirdly enough. Okay. Rabbit. Yeah, just let me defeat this thing, because it looks very stupid. And also, what's the point of fighting enemies anymore? Considering, well, enemies don't give you XP. Beating the chapters levels you up, from what I've seen of the game. Yeah, if you just want to find more about the story, and also there's a lot of choices, so it's not going to be the same for everyone. It's not going to be the same. So so don't expect everyone to have the same dialogue, like for some dialogue that has, choices. Okay. Now I'm gonna pacify to show you guys how to do that. First, you gotta do an act, and then you can pacify the enemies after you commit the right act on those enemies. Ooh, I think I'm about to get to that part that I was telling you about with that giant robot that Susie and Lancer were wanting to build or something. Okay, a ragger. Okay. Darn it. Why am I taking so much damage here? No. I gotta get to the safe. I gotta get to this. Wait, I forgot. I have healing items. I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot I had healing. Yeah, you gotta tap on, and then that arrow, it swaps them around. There are some puzzles that you gotta do that, don't have to specifically work like that either. Like how I just did it. So, yeah. Don't expect it to be the same answer each time, too. Okay. Yeah, I think I screwed up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna have to reset the symbols. Okay, just ignore that background noise, because there are a lot of idiots. Wait, hold on, I messed up again. Wait, no, I didn't. Yeah, that's the answer. It's heart, clover, diamond. I forgot what. Oh, I always get confused on the black symbols in cards. They just look too similar. Do not make that a race thing. Do not make that a race thing. Please, nobody in the comments make that a race thing. I swear to God, your comment will get deleted if you try and make that a race thing. Well, that was easy. But yeah, I honestly really like this game. In fact, I think I like it more than Undertale. Undertale, it felt too narratively intact to, make it enjoyable. You gotta have some leniency with the player base. And if you make one small choice involving a kill of any enemy, you automatically have to swap up the entire run. Depending on if you kill an enemy or not. You have to swap up the entire run. Potentially anyways. Which is honestly too narratively strict, if you ask me. That is just way too narratively strict. You can't really have... like enforce choice on the player. You can't make your game all about choice while also having a narratively strict gameplay functionality like that. That just takes away the entire purpose of what you were trying to do with your game at that point. Like if you killed an enemy in Undertale, you had to switch up your entire run. You likely had to switch up your entire run, depending on if you wanted to do a genocide route, and if you accidentally spare an enemy or flee a battle, you have to switch up to either a neutral or you have to either switch up to either a neutral or a pacifist route. Wait, no, it's just a neutral run. But depending on which enemy you accidentally run from, if it's the first enemy, then yeah, you can turn it into a pacifist route. But if you kill enemies after that, then it's going to be a neutral run. But if you accidentally kill an enemy on like what you were planning to make a pacifist route, then you would have to either switch it up to a neutral run or a genocide route, depending on how many enemies you killed. Or like what enemies you killed is what I should be saying. Yeah, I already know the answer here. So yeah, no need to look around through there. But yeah, Undertale just felt way too narratively strict for me, considering it was meant to be a game all about choice. And this game basically takes away. Yes, there's still aspects of a choice, but there's also stuff that you don't get to choose. Like that choice at the beginning of the game whenever you encounter Susie in the hallway. Like at school. Like you don't get to make a choice there. But yes, there's also stuff that that you also get to make choices on. Too, like that robot. That's something that you get to make a choice on. So, like it felt like this game honestly feels more narratively like sound comparing, like if you swapped around the gameplay of Deltarune and Undertale, it would honestly be so much better, honestly. Like if you switch up the choice aspect of both games, then yes, that would make the games so much better. Considering, well, this game has more of a choice-based aspect, while Undertale really, basically, borderline doesn't. If you think about it. Like, all you really get to do is just choose what monsters you kill in Undertale. That's not really a choice-based game like what Toby Fox initially set out to do. That's not really what he intended to do with Undertale. But yet, he did it anyways. Like, it just felt way too narratively strict. You know, to be a game that's all about making choices. You know? Like, it just felt way too narratively strict for what it was setting out to do. And that's my main issue with Undertale as a concept. Great concept. Horrible execution. Like, adding choice to RPGs to where, like, you don't necessarily have to level up. That's a great concept. But the way that they were handling it was very poor in its execution. And it honestly could have been handled so much more better, in all honesty. And that's honestly my main grievance with Undertale as a concept. Yes, there were a lot of aspects of the game to enjoy. That I will admit. But there was also some stuff that just take away what the game was setting out to do. And that's my main issue with Undertale as a concept. That this game does so much better. And that, like, and yes, I know, like, Undertale was one of the first games that Toby Fox actually did by himself. I know that. like, you know, by himself and not working for some other company. I know that part. But my main issue is that he didn't handle what he was striving to do with the game all that well by having it all choice based. It just felt way too narratively strict with this, with stuff like if you kill an enemy, it switches up your entire run. If you kill or spare an enemy, it switches up your entire run. And that's not really like what the game was supposed to be setting out to be. You know? Like, yes, you still have a choice of what enemies you kill and what enemies you spare. Yes, I will admit that. But it also felt way too narratively strict, considering most of the monsters you killed in the game and what enemies you spared, most of them didn't really have an effect on the story. Considering most of them were just generic enemies, generic NPCs. That's what most of the enemies in the game were at the end of the day. Like, there was only, like, what? A max of, like, 10 NPCs that you fight that were actually important out of, like, the, what? 50, 100 enemies that you actually fight in the entire game, if not more. And that's honestly a main issue I have. Is that it doesn't really, like, it just feels way too narratively strict to be choice-based like Toby Fox was setting out to do. And that's my main, and I'm glad he actually improved on what he was trying to do with Undertale for Deltarune. Like, that's honestly something that I genuinely enjoy from Toby Fox. Because at least he actually knows where he failed in Undertale, and he improved on such. That's honestly a really good thing. And that's the main thing you can give the guy credit for. Is that he knows where to improve with his games. You know, whenever it actually matters the most. And that's something that you can genuinely enjoy his games for. Is that he actually improves on his gameplay. And instead of, like, you know, being an EA, an Activision, or whatever, and being a complete scumbag, or being completely greedy. Like, you know, something like that. And that's honestly something I really enjoy from Toby Fox as a developer. That's honestly something you can genuinely give him credit for. Darn it. I messed up. But yeah, that's something that you can genuinely give Toby Fox credit for in his development of his games. Like, he actually knows when and where to improve with his games. That's something you can genuinely improve on with his games. That's something you can genuinely give him credit for. Is that he knows where he screwed up in his games, and he genuinely tries to improve it. And that's something that I really love whenever with what a creator does with sequels. Is that they know where they screwed up in previous entries, and then they try and improve on it. That's genuinely what I love with gaming as a whole. Is developers just like that. Yes, I admit that the fan base for Undertale and Deltarune are genuinely diabolical. I will admit that. But that's not really on Toby Fox there. That's not on him. That's more or less on that's literally and solely on the people playing his games. And that's genuinely what I love about him as a developer. Is that he knows when and where to improve. Like where he failed in past games and knows where to improve with them. That's something you can genuinely give the guy credit for. And that's all I really have to say on that topic as a whole. Is that Toby Fox knows where to improve as a developer, which is something that is surprisingly becoming way too rare and way too uncommon these days. Like, honestly. Like, that is shockingly rare for gaming as a whole, is when developers actually try and improve. Like there are so many developers anymore that just stick to their guns. Yes, that can be a good thing, but they also do it with the stuff that, needed improving, needing to be better in future entries or future series or whatever. They don't try and improve anything, which is something that you can say for like almost all sports games, all battle royales, most stuff like that. They genuinely don't try and improve. Like, they just stick to everything and just expect to make millions of dollars off of it. And that's honestly something that I really hate from developers, is that they genuinely don't try. They just basically hit copy paste on games and then just hit send out. That's literally what most developers do anymore. But anyways, I'm going to end today's video here. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.